Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our live product demo. Today, our team will be going over our new METRC inventory sync feature, which is a huge productivity booster that will remove a bunch of manual work associated with inventory reconciliation. So today we have our VP of Product, Seth Dewberry, as well as Jeff Sozio, who's a product manager here at MJ Platform. They're going to walk us through the METRC inventory sync feature, talk us through the feature and its functionality, and then answer any questions that you might have. So as an attendee, you'll see a little chat box in the GoToWebinar interface. Feel free to drop any questions you have in there, and we'll either answer them at the end of the webinar or afterwards in a nice shareable FAQ document that we're going to send along to everyone. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Seth and Jeff. Take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. Let me I have a change presenter button, Michelle, but oh wait, there it is. Change it to me. Are you seeing any of my screens? It didn't give me the option to pick one.
Yep, I'm seeing a notepad. Oh, I'm seeing MJ Freeway, the back end now.
All right, well, this is my smaller screen, but it probably will be better resolution. All right, which means I will shrink it down. Okay. So yes, everybody, I'll go through a quick introduction, inventory, whatnot, and what this feature kind of intention is, and then Jeff, who scoped it, did the client feedback, and built it or productized it. We'll go through an actual live run of it, and then feel free to ask us any questions regarding the inventory sync or anything else that's been in the news. Jeff comes to us from an operation in Colorado, like 10 years. So I have a lot of operational knowledge, and we're able to get a lot of collaboration in building this with some of our clients. So that was much appreciated. A couple things, we'll talk about intercom a little bit down here in the corner, but in general, and we're going to be in inventory, the reconciliation. So that's going to be this tab. Now, this tab also has, zoom it a little bit. It also has one of our a different new-ish feature that Jeff scoped out a little bit ago, and that's the inventory audit. We won't go into that, the inventory audit. Most of you are used to this adjust page where you can where it lists everything. You can search things by tags and then make one-off adjustments. And you can pull in, your metric value from metric with the API call. Well, what we're going to see today from Jeff is this en masse, all packages compared from platform to metrics, so that you're not hitting this button every time, and then a lot more clarity in what you're adjusting in which system and by how much. So that said, we just published, if you're using Intercom at all, we just published the inventory sync article today. So we haven't seen it yet, but for instance, if you wanted to see the inventory audit, you can search in here audit, and first thing that comes back is how to blind count inventory or blind audit inventory, do a blind count, which is what the audit is for. This one is more for giving you the ability, the sync, to adjust either system and do a ton of it all on one page. And really, even before that, see all of your discrepancies. Like within minutes, you'll see all the discrepancies on all your packages. And so in Intercom, we won't necessarily go too much in a tour of this, but under products and inventory, we have the latest article, inventory sync. That pops up in here, and then you'll be able to go through and see the details here. So this is we're going to see these columns and everything in a second when Jeff starts. That is all that I have. So Jeff, if you'd like to take it over.
All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
You can. Okay, great. So Seth, thank you for the introduction. Thanks for setting this up, Michelle. Just like Seth said, we're going to be diving into the reconciliations and mainly this inventory sync, since this is the new feature. So when you first go into this page, you will see a search function here. We have this page is basically broken out into 4 sections. The first 2 are showing up here, and we'll see the third and fourth here in a little while. To create your search, you're going to go into category. You can select all categories, or you can select, if it's a Monday and you count edibles on Monday, then you can just select your edibles here. From there, then you can choose a location. If you wanted to search just your sales floor, just your back of house, you can do that as well. Or if you wanted to search everything in this one facility, you can keep the location field blank. Right now, we're going to go ahead and select all. So this is going to pull every single package we have in this facility. And since I don't have a location filter, it truly is everything. This is a test site we're in now. So we're going to see a pop-up here in a second. The more products you search, the more categories and locations you search, the longer the search will take. METRC does have some rate limiting, so we can only call certain amount of packages every 10 seconds or so. So we basically have to space this out. So like I said, the more you search, the longer the search will take. Because this is a test site, this actually won't take very long. You will see this is saying it's going to take about 10 seconds. One of the great things about this tool is it's works in the background. So I can go ahead and do other things while I'm waiting. And then right here in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that the inventory sync data collection is ready. So I can go ahead and navigate back to inventory sync, and our page has changed because the background job has been completed. This in a live site could take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how many products you are searching and how many packages you have in your store. Because this is a test site, all of our packages are good. We don't have any discrepancies, but I just want to show you this for a second, then we'll dive into a site with some discrepancies. So in the top right here is going to be your search results, and this is a high-level summary. So this will show all the categories you searched. So we searched concentrate, infused edible, cart pens, flour, and infused non-edibles. The first number here is going to be how many packages you have with discrepancies per category. The second number is how many packages are in that category total. So if you had, 100 packages, this would say 100, and then however many have discrepancies. Then you have the 2 other columns here to the right, your total discrepancy each and your total discrepancy grams. These will be absolute values, and we'll see these in a second. So if you have 3 packages that are off, and 2 are -1 each and 1 is a +1 each, instead of that going, basically canceling each other out and going to 0, you will still see that there are 3 that are +3 that are off. So you won't, if there's packages with discrepancies, these will never be at 0. Some categories only have eaches, so you'll see the discrepancy here. Some categories only have grams, you'll see that here, and some may have both. Concentrate one of them, so you might see some discrepancies here in each and also in grams, and we won't add those together or anything. These are separate measurements, so we are keeping them separate there. So this is your summary view here. Down here, you'll see a more detailed view, and I'm going to switch over to my other screen so we can see something with discrepancies. So I'm going to review this table, and then I'm going to dive into how you view the detailed view of these. So once we select one of these categories, we will have our product name, vendor, METRC ID, the location inside your store. Then your discrepancy, again, this is going to be an absolute value. So if it's a -1 each, this is still going to show as just a positive number here. Medicated weight, and platform quantity, you'll see we have colors here. So this discrepancy is in red. Anything in blue has to do with platform. Anything in green has to do with metric. So here you have your platform quantity. Here you have metric quantity. And then I'm gonna, before we dive into these two, I'm gonna click into one of these. So here, when I click a category, we will then see all these packages that have discrepancies. This store was kind enough to purposely make some discrepancies in their store specifically for this webinar. So thanks to that team, if any of them are on here. And so, you know, this would be something where if you don't have live sync to METRC, as you sell products throughout the day, you're obviously, if you're not doing your sales live, you'll start getting these discrepancies. When you upload your METRC sales at the end of the day, everything should be good. So here we see here to the right, the sync platform to metric. So this is blue, so blue to blue. So we see here this says a +1 gram sync metric to platform. This is green, so this is adjusting our metric. So this is going to be a -1. So you'll see here our platform quantity is 16, metric quantity is 17. If I counted my inventory and 17 is the correct number, then we would be adjusting platform. So then we go to blue and we hit the +1 here to make this match metric. If we realize that the platform quantity is correct and we need to adjust metric, we hop over to the green and then we adjust this 17 down 1 to 16. You can view these categories all at once. So the more you select, obviously, the more products you have on here. And then here, we're going to go ahead and make an adjustment. Again, these guys are kind enough to let us play around in their site. So we're going to adjust this edible here. I'm going to show you both of these. We're going to adjust their platform quantity. So we're not touching metric. However, I am going to show you both of these. So if we did want to adjust metric, we would click here. This gives us our pop-up. Again, green is metric. So we are adjusting metric, but it's +1 each. So this is saying this will increase the package by 1 each. It shows your package tag here and then your mandatory adjustment reasons. So if it's an error, you know, whatever you have here, these are all your metric adjustment reasons. And then notes, any notes that you want to add in, this is an optional field. Notice how I can't complete this package sync until I select a reason. Now I can select that. We're going to go back here. So then this package here, this is actually what we're going to adjust. So again, blue to blue is all platform. So we are going to adjust platform to match our metric level. So this is adjusting -1 each. This will reduce the platform package by 1 each. Adjustment reason here is still mandatory. We just like to have, you know, obviously want to track everything. We're going to ahead and adjust this. So we're going to complete this package sync. Once I complete this, you will see here that these two fields are grayed out. This shows that you've already adjusted this product. So as you go through, you can see which products you've adjusted. You can also notice here that this -1 each is blue and this +1 each is gray. This is so you can see which one you actually made the adjustment on. So we adjusted platform, so this -1 each is blue. If we go on to this package and adjust metric, when after it gets adjusted, they will be grayed out, and then the metric will be gray, and the platform will be gray, and then metric will be green to show that on this package you adjusted metric. So that this is just an easy way to see your progress and show your work as you're going through. the last piece of this feature, I did say it was 4 parts, and we've seen 3 out of the 4. After we made this adjustment, not sure if any of you saw, but down here, we had a button pop up, and this is export all package sync actions. So if I click here, this will export either an Excel file or a CSV. I'm not going to do that because I already have one pulled up. But what that does is exports a CSV or an Excel file that shows all the adjustments you made in this series. So you'll have your name, your vendor, your METRC ID, package code, which is your barcode, category, the location. Then you have all kind of the important information. You have your original platform quantity, your platform unit of measure, your adjustment that you made. So if I adjusted platform, we would see this. This is from a previous demo we did. Then you have your metric, so your original metric quantity, metric unit of measure, and then your metric adjustment. So in this example, in this demo we did previously, we had made all the adjustments in metric, and this is showing those adjustments. It will also show your adjustment reason, your notes, your location number, and then your user license number. This, because we did this in an admin site, doesn't have this. However, if you go into your users, this state license here, so your METRC ID, your METRC badge number, if you type this in for your employees, this will then populate here, so you know who's making those changes or who made those adjustments. This Excel sheet you can use for your own records if you needed to email it to your state regulators or METRC themselves. This is just an easy way for you to keep track of all your adjustments through this export. We'll go back to the sync screen. So yeah, and that is pretty much the summary of this tool. Again, this is a tool to sync platform to metric or metric to platform. So this is a virtual sync of all your inventory. As you saw here, when I clicked into these buttons, there was never a, I can't add, well, actually, I want to adjust this to, by 2, because this is just a sync feature. It will only allow you to sync one system to the other. If you had, for some reason, you completed a physical count and neither system was correct, that's where you would go ahead and use in your reconciliations, your adjust tool. You go ahead, go to the adjust tool, search for that package, and then make those adjustments from there. And with that, I'll open up to any questions, and yeah, we'll go from there if anyone has any questions.
We do have some questions. First one being, with MJ Freeway and METRC both being seed to sale systems, is the addition of the sync feature, confirmation that the state of Utah will be switching over to METRC in the future? If this is the case, we have an estimated date that this will be taking place so we can be as operationally ready as possible.
No, that doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, the idea, like, after after a couple of the state systems, our biggest markets are in METRC or BioTrack states, like Puerto Rico for BioTrack. And like what you've seen here, I'll just do a spoiler here. In a couple of weeks, we'll be doing a webinar because this is the same functionality that BioTrack regulatory environments will have. It's just that it's, it's same UI, but it's a bit different on the back end. Like Jeff mentioned, METRC is allowing us to pull basically 5 inventory calls a second, whereas BioTrack sends kind of a huge file that we deal with in the back end. So it's a bit different developing to it, but this is just simply so that, the system is more relevant across multiple states, having tools for several different, enhanced tools for several different compliance systems.
Certainly, thank you. Our next question is also kind of along those lines. Is this state specific? Each state has different adjustment reasons in metric. So can you speak to that part?
Yeah, it just talks to the API. So when it does the, I believe when it does the get call for reasons, it just knows, like in MJ, you set up what state you're in. So then it gets the reason that way.
Perfect. Would you need to reconcile a package prior to making an adjustment?
No. In fact, that's what you would not do, or you would end up doubling up things.
Thank you. Is this restricted to users?
It's actually, so Jeff, do you still have it open? It's not, so I get the message, it's not restricted to users. What we, like, I've been on the site that Jeff started on, and I got the notification that the inventory sync was ready when he did. So it is built so that it's a, you know, one sync per facility at a time. You definitely would not want one sync per user, or else you have to have a whole ton of other logic to make sure things didn't get doubled up.
That
But so
makes
like if
sense.
somebody starts it, like, so yeah, so like if somebody starts it from wherever, everybody will see when the sync is ready to be done. Although of course there's permissions to it, so not everybody will be able to get to it.
To that point, that makes sense. Are you able to do multiple locations at once, or is this just one location per sync?
Well, you should never do multiple locations of anything in the same browser instance because your tabs are going to conflict. But if you do like a one location in Chrome, regular, one in Incognito, another one in Firefox, like then you should be able to do syncs across multiple locations on the same computer, but certainly not like the use case.
Across different browsers. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, because the tabs sync, right? So like you wouldn't want to be on, you wouldn't want to have an inventory item open on the same two tabs and adjust in both. Now we do have, a couple years ago, we did put in a bunch of logic for things like this. So it checks the back end every time to see if there was an adjustment. So if you do have two tabs open, then you don't double adjust inventory. But that's the whole like inner working of it, is it tries to keep all, any given browser will do its best to keep all tabs in sync.
Got it.
But
Thank
having
you.
multiple tabs is a recipe for disaster if you have too many in multiple windows, like all of us do.
Certainly. Our next question, will this sync function pull all inventory listed in both systems to compare? For example, if there's a quantity on hand in metric, but there's no inventory in MJ platform, will it display in sync?
That's a good question. That's going to be something that we add into a phase 2 should it be needed. That's going to take a whole other interface to say, here's packages that exist somewhere else but don't exist in platform. But that's a great question. Yeah, it doesn't tell you what's in, I mean, that's right, Jeff. I'm wrong, let me know. But it doesn't tell you what's in metric but not in platform. And of course, something could go to 0 in platform, but now we need to query the inactive inventory, which is incredibly massive. So we'll need to, you know, make that a background job, but that will be a fast follow if it is of interest to the people who are to users of this, should gain traction.
So please give us your feedback as you're creating this. We would love to hear so we can prioritize what happens in phase 2. Thank you so much. Our next question, what adjustment reason is submitted to metric for adjusting within inventory sync?
The one that Jeff showed in that box that gives all the detail and is like crystal clear on what units or grams are being added or removed from which system. It's that the reason on the left there.
Gotcha. Thank you. And the last question looks like if there are any more, please feel free to drop them in the questions or chat. When does this option go live?
It is live. So what we do when we develop, and this is, so we have feature toggles, which basically means we do all this coding under a toggle so we can, you know, release a certain feature over a ton of different releases and release in small bits now, which is less risky. And then nobody sees anything until we hit a button in our admin section, and that toggles it on. Well, with that toggle on, we can also toggle on individual facilities. So that's how we were able to toggle in individual facilities that Jeff got with and tested this with and developed it with for kind of an early release, which if you sounds nice, but if you've been on that, like it's also a lot of, it's meticulous because you need to be watching for, you know, problems and everything. But we are very interested in being able to, for individual features, be able to toggle in individual clients and kind of test it and everything before going full out with it. So on a side note, if you're interested in that, feel free to hit up us and or Robin and everybody if you want that. Otherwise, there's 3 steps, more, well, a million steps, but like the basic steps to release are, we'll get all the code out, so it's under the toggle. We'll UAT it, user acceptance test it with a client. So like toggle on their live site and try it. And then we'll create a knowledge base in intercom, which is what you saw me click into at the beginning, that little like a deal in the lower left corner of the screen that I could able to get to the article for it. We'll create an article that's not public, and we'll UAT that with a couple people, and then all at once, like this morning, 5 minutes before this thing, I published the sync article that you can get to if you click on the search and go through the products and inventory. And then we toggle it on for everybody, which we did like 2 days ago. So it happens over a period of time, but it all kind of hits at once with the documentation and the universal enablement of the toggle.
It's very exciting. I do see one more question. Can this be used to report a sales transaction that didn't record in METRC, or would that still need to be uploaded separately?
Uploaded or manually entered separately, for sure. Yeah, this will be just touching inventory. Because you could make it like, yeah, because you can't, the point of this inventory sync, you know, and it really came from that first inventory adjust screen that I showed of not having to click a button, every button for every package to bring in the metric levels. But this is not a level setting or a like, it's not like a blind count or a level setting, like set a certain level in the inventory. It is a choose which system is right system. So if METRC said 5 and MJ said 4 and you had 3, that's a whole different problem. You know, and like obviously then you would go to the adjust page and change both systems to 3. But this is really just a which system is correct and how many errors are there between the systems. Of course, not including the ones that are in METRC and not in platform. But other than that, you could run this thing multiple times a day and just, you know, get a nice warm fuzzy. You see all zeros, no discrepancies, or maybe you see, Jeff and I found an example working with, you know, our early adopters that something looked way off with the math, and we had found that an item was just built with a medicated net weight different than it should have been, right? So imagine if you build something with a title of 1 gram pre-roll, and then you put a 1 gram like concentrate, which is a unit thing, and then you put a point or a, you know, 500 for milligrams, but a 0.5 half gram in the medicated weight, then that medicated weight is law. So, but you would see in the title that you think it's a 1 gram concentrate, and the math will all be like cut in half. So you can really see errors in the system or discrepancy, like, you know, potential product setup errors or, you know, discrepancies in the system real time throughout the day, right? Instead of like, I mean, being an onboarding and everything, which most of us have done, it's not a good system if it takes a ton of spreadsheeting to do like stuff where you might not know that you have something off until 30 days of a check or something versus knowing kind of right away real time during the day.
Seth, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so what Seth was just describing here with basically naming something a 1 gram unit and having it in as each, but METRC is in as grams. And then, you know, as you're selling this, you have, you know, you're pulling half a gram and your eaches are going. So right here, we saw this says, these both say 10, but there's a discrepancy. Because when you translate this platform quantity into grams, this turns into 5 grams because you multiply the 0.5 obviously by the 10. And then therefore these two are off technically by 5 grams because of your medicated weight, because this is in each and this is in grams. So here you would say, oh, you know what, we built this product incorrectly. This actually is a 1-to-1 relationship. Let's go change our medicated weight. Or maybe it is maybe the medicated weight is correct, but something else is incorrect in the product master. So that's an easy way to see if there's something wrong when these two show the same number, different units of measure, and then you have your medicated weight here.
Yeah, exactly. And so another usability thing that we coded towards, but as everyone knows, you have the column you don't have column visibilities here, but you have column visibility on most listing pages, and like taking away columns is the only way to get other columns bigger, right? You can't resize, unfortunately. Instead of gutting the whole thing, what we did here was, so if Jeff mouses over either a metric ID or a product name, it shows the whole thing. And if he double clicks, the partial thing you're seeing in copies, you'd see if you go into Notepad that it is actually copying the whole metric ID. So it's copy and paste friendly, even though the UI is not amazing as far as like adjusting to sizes.
There, I just did the, I copy that metric tag and you see it pulled the entire tag.
Yes. Yeah, what else? Any other questions come in?
I have one person saying they do not have inventory sync under reconciliations at this time.
Okay. Well, we can troubleshoot that. One thing that I noticed on my site is, so first of all, look into if you have in facility settings, manage state integrations, make sure the state integration is turned on, because like there is no sync if there's no integration. So people in leaf states have no sync because it would just be platform syncing with platform, which is what an inventory page is. So since Leaf is not an outside system to platform as of, a couple years ago. So you do have to have the integration enabled, but, there's a lot of buttons and switches in the software. So like we would be able to get on with you if it's still not working and see if that's the issue or what the deal is.
Thank you. And then it looks like our user that was looking for that inventory sync under reconciliations found the missing sync error under users being unselected. So they have customer roles, not the MJP standard one. So I think that sounds like it is reconciled at this point. With a little bit of digging.
Yep, well, it is a specific user role so that you could give somebody only this or remove only this. So it's pretty workable from the permission standpoint.
All right, it sounds like we have hit all the questions. Of course, if there are any additional questions, comments, or troubleshooting that we can help with, please feel free to reach out to our team.
Yeah, thanks for the turnout, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Every these few weeks, so we'll have where you'll be able to see it while we're demoing it. So we appreciate the clicking around while we're showing it.
All right, thank you so much, and keep an eye out for the FAQ document that will be circulating your way shortly after this. So thank you all.